Hey there, good afternoon. We have 7 principles that, to quote our website, our congregations affirm and promote, and which we hold as strong values and moral guides. There's an ongoing debate in UU circles to what extent our principles apply to our congregations, and to what extent they're meant to inform the daily life of the members of those congregations. The truth is that either interpretation can be correct. The principles themselves are the result of our collective search for truth and meaning. They're not God-given, and how we apply them is a matter of our own discernment. Even original intent cannot settle the matter definitively, because ours is a living, growing tradition. Today, I would like to talk to you about principles number 3 and 4. Personally, I tend to be a first, fourth, and sixth principle kind of UU. So I kind of had number 4 under my belt. But number 3, well, I had to look it up. That's not uncommon. Number 3 reads, if you don't know it, we covenant to affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. So yes, it's definitely referring to congregations. But it flows beautifully into number 4, which, if you don't recall that one, we covenant to affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I'm not even going to try to define the words free and responsible for anyone else. I think that is definitely a matter of conscience. But number 3, acceptance, that is really a radical concept. And it's the rock upon which we really build our community. While we encourage one another to spiritual growth, I'll add that we do not try to fix people. Instead, we bear witness to their lives and attempt to do so without judgment. This is really difficult spiritual practice. The temptation is always there to just try and say the right thing to fix every problem. It just doesn't work that way. And it really is more important to practice deep listening, to be present in those places that make us uncomfortable. And as one lady I knew used to say, just be still and listen. It takes a leap of faith to trust in the other person's own inherent wisdom and their own ability to solve their problems. And yet this naturally follows from the first principle, which affirms the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. Buddhism, which is my faith tradition, teaches us to have faith in something inside us, and then to extend that same faith to others. Oh, we screw up. We screw up a lot. But we can always choose to begin again and renew our faith in each other. Accepting one another and encouragement to spiritual growth is also a call to service. While we do not try and fix other people, systems are another matter entirely. In short, we make no peace with systems of oppression, including classism, racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia, because under these systems, spiritual growth is simply not possible. And it is cruel to encourage someone to spiritual growth unless their bellies are full and they have a warm place to sleep. Otherwise, our third principle becomes a sham, a toxic platitude that just enables our oppressors. In many ways, practicing acceptance of one another looks a lot like dwelling together in peace to me. Peace is not simply avoiding conflict. Conflict that goes unaddressed just festers beneath the surface and creates more trauma. Peace only exists with the successful resolution of conflict. It requires courage and honesty and open communication. Waging peace is hard work. And yet, without peace, our community cannot long endure. And without peace, our communities, our congregations cannot become the laboratories necessary for us to live and embody the fourth principle, the search for truth and meaning. I really tend to see that fourth principle as more of an individual mandate than any of the others. Having served on the board of a few UU congregations and having served as the president of two of them, on a congregational level, it often feels more like we're just trying to keep the bills paid and manage whatever crisis is arising in that moment. There doesn't seem to be a lot of time left over for navigating a dark night of the soul and solving the problems of birth and death. But as an individual, I've encountered mystery. I've attended week-long meditation retreats, spent a few years taking online classes, studied the sacred texts of my own traditions that reflect the experiences of men and women who came before me. And I've invested much in myself, in my own search for truth, meaning, and yes, purpose. To me, it has a very personal basis because our search for truth and meaning informs our beliefs. And these are as much individual as they are congregational. No offense to my UUs, but something often seems to be missing in my UU congregations. As a whole, we seem to struggle with such things as prayer, meditation, meaningful rites of passage, and finding a place for the sacred. We mistrust direct experience of mystery. And our Sunday morning worship services can come across very head-oriented, very intellectual and dry. We don't know what to make of the heart. Sometimes it feels as though we have killed off the spiritual dimension of life as a culture. And it's not just God that we've given up, but also the realm of the ancestors and those deep powers of life, death, and transformation which once informed our existence. It's easier to pop open a bag of potato chips and grab a remote and binge or watch some Netflix than it is to go on some perilous quest of dubious value. Now, believe it or not, this is not a commentary on the Cowpell UU, but observations that I've seen with other congregations, numerous congregations, of which I'm also a member of a few, and many of which I attend during the pandemic. Each congregation is unique and beautiful, and yet, in my humble opinion, still faces these kinds of challenges. The First Universalist of Cowpell, however, has taken great strides in moving forward and living into these principles. I stepped back in March, I think some of y'all may know, and I entrusted the future of First Universalist to an amazing transition team. Our worship is now, I have to say, heart-oriented and better for it. Our commitment to our community is genuine and meaningful. Our vision for the future is clear. And I can say with all honesty that I'm hopeful when it comes to the future of First Universalist. No, Reverend Darcy did not make me deviled eggs to say these things. So yeah, for me, the fourth principle is all about the hero's journey. I'm sorry, I'm a Joseph Campbell fan. But here in our congregations, the hero doesn't go it alone. It is our duty as congregations to support one another upon the way. And that is only possible when we practice radical acceptance of one another and radical encouragement to spiritual growth. We all must face the challenges of life, but we don't have to face them alone. The best advice I can give to anyone on this matter is, yes, the outcome of the quest is uncertain. I don't know what you'll find, but go on the quest anyway. Even if it feels like a waste of time, even if you feel foolish, even if you're afraid, chase rainbows, tip windmills, marvel at science, read stories, read myths, marvel and wonder at the world in which you live, and follow all of these avenues of mystery whenever and wherever you encounter them. This is the time of your life, and there is wonder and beauty to be found. That much I do know. I cannot tell you what you will find. I can't even tell you where to look, but it will be worth it. You'll become part of the story of our own search for truth and meaning. What you find will enrich your life. It will enrich our community here. And it will inform the community or inform the journeys of those who come after you. Thank you.